I am Marko of Moesia, and I have long dreamt of a united Bulgaria. But in my blind ambition, I have sinned many times, and brought God's wrath upon us all. In shame, my wife Reina has left me, and broken our alliance. Sensing our weakness, Greek hordes have poured into Philippopolis, and set it aflame, all in the name of God. Now Moesia sits, surrounded on all sides, awaiting our final judgment. I can only pray for mercy. My daughter, Rosa, however, prefers more practical pursuits, and rallies our allies and armies in defense. She has her mother's spirit, but I fear it may not be enough. Welcome back to another episode of Crusader Chronicles. Another episode of our Moesia campaign here in the not yet formed Kingdom of Bulgaria there. So things are taking a bit of a turn since our last episode there. We left off on a fairly happy note. We got remarried and forged alliances with our neighbors on kind of both sides of us there, all in the name of shared peace. But that peace has been shattered here. You can see Philippopolis is no more. They've been wiped off the map by Obsidian. And Marko really believes that this is the result of some kind of divine retribution there. Last episode, everything that we achieved was largely predicated on sinful behavior, I suppose. We divorced our first wife there in the name of heresy. We broke from the Orthodox Church to become a Bogomolist pacifist here. And we do have another sort of secret here, I guess. And that was our affair with the Countess of Pirin, who bore a illegitimate son of ours here, Drislav Exarch there. You can see there is his mother, Svetanka, formerly Countess of Pirin there. And this is really interesting. There she is known as a fornicator. Also incestuous, which I don't quite understand. She may have had other relationships there, but she was executed by her liege, Duchess Avdokia of Bulgaria. So that's very surprising to me. I had initially assumed that perhaps Svetanka here was part of a diplomatic plot by her liege there to seduce ourselves in Moesia and also the Duke of Philippopolis, so that they would convert to pacifism there. But it seems that Duchess Avdokia did not take kindly to Svetanka acting outside of her wishes there, and she was actually executed for her crimes there. So poor Drislav here is motherless, I suppose, and arrived at our court. It's actually fairly embarrassing, as I had betrothed him to one of my daughters, thinking, he had pretty good stats there. But the wedding was swiftly called off when he revealed that he is our son. Yeah, so this kickstarted things even further. Our marriage to our second wife, Reina, was already fairly on the rocks there. We're both ambitious people, but I think we just have different methods. Reina is, of course, the daughter of the fierce Duchess Avdokia there, so she is very much a woman of action, whereas we are much more passive and taking the slower approach to build up our realm there. So she was very bored in our court. She just wasn't enjoying herself there. And of course, our big scandal with our illegitimate son and the embarrassment of the betrothal with, I believe, one of her daughters there, uh, caused her to sort of have enough. It was the last straw for her, and she fled to her own holdings in the county of Goji. That's how I'm going to say that. So we're not divorced. Of course, she will never divorce us. She is a very devout woman, but she's had enough of us and is no longer living in our court. She's living in her own county there. And she was clearly itching for a fight there, perhaps looking to vent some of her emotions there, because she pretty much immediately declared war upon her niece there, plunging the Duchy of Bulgaria into civil war and eliminating really any alliance that ourselves or Philippopolis had with them. And as we mentioned, we had broken from the church there. We're no longer under the control of the Orthodox Patriarch. And that certainly stirred him up and stirred up quite a lot of zealous Orthodox folks. And with Bulgaria pretty much out of the picture, we had the Dukes of Thrace and, of course, Obsikian there, who swiftly invaded Philippopolis in the name of the patriarch, essentially. So, not too sure if he put them up to that or they took the initiative themselves there, but poor Philippopolis is no more. So Marko is pretty in the dumps here. He's at the end of his life. He is ailing and infirm there. He is not fit for much except waiting for death to claim him. So he's pretty much focused on what he feels is repenting for his sins there, hoping that there may be some salvation for Moesia, as we are now essentially alone. We no longer have an alliance with Bulgaria, and Obsikian and all of their allies are sitting on our doorstep, waiting to cleanse us of our sin there. So in this vacuum, I suppose, we have another character that is kind of stepping up to hold the reins, I guess, as our time is fading there, and that is our daughter, Rosa here. So I was reading about the new Regency mechanics that will be making their way into the game in a future patch there, which are really robust and very interesting. But it's too bad we don't have that mechanic right now, because I think it's the perfect explanation for Rosa's entrance into the story, I guess. She is currently our chancellor there, of course. Our religion, viewing women as equal there, allows her to serve on our council, and she's certainly more than skilled for that. She's very intelligent and politically savvy woman there. So, more than just being our chancellor, she is sort of acting as an unofficial regent on behalf of her sick father. Certainly, I think she is doing that because she cares for us. We are very close. We've become very close as we've watched her, take charge on our behalf. Certainly, I think she reminds Marko of her mother, Arena. There, they share a driven spirit, perhaps. So definitely, she's doing this partly for love, I think, but also, of course, for her own ambitions. Because I think she's hoping that if she can, lead now and build up her prestige in the eyes of our vassals, they are less likely to object to her continued rulership there once Marko passes away. Because our succession is a bit shaky right now, to be honest. We're still sitting with our eldest daughter, Nevena, as our official heir. But her stock has fallen drastically since she was sort of set up in that position. Really, the only thing she had going for her initially was a marriage into the house of Philippopolis there, which would have secured some land for her grandson. But that is all moot now that Philippopolis has fallen. Her husband is deceased. We divorced her mother, and then yeah, certainly her personality is not one that will be a good leader. So certainly in the eyes of the people, probably most of our initial children here of our first wife have a significantly lesser claim than our children of Reina there, just because their mother has been out of the picture for a long time, and none of them are particularly skilled. I think Rose is really banking on that she has the superior claim on our lands, and as well as her mother's lands, of course. She's the eldest daughter of Reina, so she stands to inherit her mother's holdings as well, which I think puts her, in her mind, at the top of succession there. So I think this event here kind of seals the future of the realm there. At the beginning of the episode, we had a very despondent Marko, desperately sort of grieving for all of the things that he regretted in the previous episodes there, but he seems to have found some amount of peace now, and perhaps this is his and Rose's final conversation, even on his deathbed maybe, and he's talking to her about his marriage to Countess Reina. Perhaps this is something that he does not regret. He does not regret his marriage to Reina because it produced his beloved daughter Rosa there. So clearly a touching moment between the two of them, and this really just seals it for me that on his deathbed, Marko will name Rosa his heir. And you can see there that we're projected to die very soon. So what I'm going to do is add an elective law to Moesia here. It's really the fastest way that I can get Rosa to the top of the succession list there. And I have another video on how to do that if you are interested. But there is Rosa, our new heir. And it looks like we were just in time there. There we go. Poor Marko has passed away, and Rosa has officially succeeded there. Okay, so I think that is a wrap on this episode there. You'll have to check in next time to see how Rosa leads Moesia. This is we're still not out of the woods yet. We've still got Obsidian on our doorstep, but we should be able to ally with our mother over in Bulgaria, who certainly is no stranger to warring against her liege there. So perhaps we can get involved in one of her struggles there. But yeah, as a final note, I guess don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can follow along with Rosa's adventures there. And we'll see you next time on Crusader Chronicles.